Alex, you said, first of all, did you say you actually make predictions on the Jack Bauer prediction poll? Do you actually make predictions?
I don't normally, but I told Jack this time I would, just for funsies. I'll join the fun.
Okay. How did you do on the men's side?
Terrible. That was a hot mess. Let's not even go there.
Did you at least have Veejay winning? That was the easy one.
I actually put Kent. Sorry, Veejay. Because I just thought with High Rocks and Deca, he would push Veejay and they would have a good thing, but he wasn't even up there. So I learned my lesson. I'm going to just put Veejay the next time for all of them.
Well, we will see. We will see, because the next set of courses are slightly different, which we'll also get to.
He won Big Bear, so.
Oh, there we go. I know he won Big Bear. I know. Listen, Veejay has brought a lot of us around, okay, as who's the current best in the game. Like, we're not doubting him, but I'm just saying we're going to get to what the different courses are. But here we are. Here's Veejay wiping off his screen with his thumb. But I want to get young Nic on here. Nic, who I thought the photo was labeled incorrectly because I looked at my old photo of Nic from when he was leading in the OCR, what's Hunter's thing called?
OCR Stars.
The OCR Stars. You were ahead of you were winning. You won one of those workouts, and I was like, "That's a dark-haired guy with a mustache. That's not Nic. That's not Nic." So, Nic, I'm gonna put money that nobody picked you in the top 5, unless maybe one of your relatives was on it.
No, and I don't think my relatives would pick me.
So tell me about your thoughts. How well do you know the sport? How well do you know the elite field? Who are you worried about on the start line?
I mean, I think I know everybody now. I don't think I was worried about anybody. Like, I knew who people were, and I knew that, everybody there was pretty deep. But I had heard rumors that like Mark was going to take it out hot. So like I was expecting maybe him or like Hawk to go really fast, but I was mainly just like focused on how the start was going to look. And then everything else was, adapt once it happens. So
what was the first, we talked a little bit about the first couple miles or the first mile, like how did that shake out for you?
Pretty good. I don't normally front run anything. I just stay in the pack. But after we got 800 in, it was like super bunched, and there was like maybe 20 of us like in a pack. And I was like, there's no way this pack is like all the same fitness. Like some people are like chilling, and I could tell. I could like look at people's form and be like, that dude's chilling, that dude's chilling. And so I was like, if I just wait here, I'm gonna get buried. I'm not that great at obstacles. So I was about to make a move and just like leave everyone, and Hawk did it. And I was like, perfect, like scapegoat. And so I just followed him, and I was running with Hawk for a while and introduced myself, and then still felt good. And I was like, today's the day. So I left, and I just led for a little bit because I figured I wasn't going to get a lead late in the race. So I knew people would come back, but I just wanted to make it honest, like early, at least in that like approaching mile 2. I can't remember right where we were, but I felt good and I took a risk.
When you say introduce yourself, do you mean physically, like with authority, or did you mean like you actually out of breath introduced yourself?
I ran up to him and I said, I respect your race plan. So it's a good one. Leave, because there's a lot of great competition here. And then I asked him if he ran in college. I didn't really know his background. And so he said that he used to. And I said, oh, cool. Like me too. I think we like said a few more sentences, and then it just was back to racing.
At what pace is this?
I don't know. I didn't look at my watch. I didn't want it to be like a thing to get in my own head. The only time I really saw it was like super late in the race when I needed to know how much we had left. We were probably going like, I don't know, 5:30, 5:20. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. First couple of miles were like at 5:24, 5:20.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there's any way Mark doesn't know. So at what point was second kind of you knew the best you were gonna get? Like where did that happen?
Oh, for me?
No, for yeah, for you.
I think it was like at the sandbag carry. I was like, oh man, there's just not enough time to come back here. Like we just got more obstacles, and VJ's way more proficient at them, and I'm like I got nothing left. Like there's no way of catching them. There's no running in the way. So I was like, oh, this is pretty much it. Second place right here. But
Well, I'm just noticing right now that you beat Hawk by a second, Nick.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Were you
That's
guys
real.
going over the final thing at the same time?
We made a few passes. So he had me by like a lot, probably 100 meters coming into that final gauntlet. And I just kept telling myself, like, this is so cool. You got fourth. Like, I was ecstatic with fourth, you know, like I'm competitive, but this is the first time I've ever been like realistically top 10 in a national series race. So I was fine with it. Like I was competing, but I pretty much knew I had fourth. And when I came over the vertical cargo, I saw him struggling with the Herc hoist. And I just thought, like, my whole frame shifted from like, oh, fourth's good to I'm going to get this guy. Like, I have to beat him. And I just had a huge adrenaline rush and like took Herc, you know, as hard as I could and got it up. And I thought I had it there. And he caught me at the top of the A-frame. And I was really worried about it because I knew the A-frame I was going to be pretty slow on. I did one flip, but I'm not committing to like tumbling down it. And he kind of rolled into me.
You call yourself an obstacle racer, Nick? Come on, man.
In training, I'm learning. I'm gonna get better. Like, but yeah, I did one roll, and then I was like kind of crab walking down, and then he rolled into me, not like bad, but like we bumped each other, and I saw it, and I was like, I have to get off this thing. Like I have to get on the ground first, and so I just jumped off it. It looked like I could hit the ground running, and so jumped, and it hurt, but I hit the ground first. So yeah, then it's like what, 20 feet left in the race after that.
All right. So let's talk about this course versus the rest of the series. Atkins posted some words about it, and some people are looking at it as sour grapes on his end, some aren't. But as a whole, I'll start with you, Alex. In terms of a series, you know, and let's not get into like even obstacle difficulty, right? Because that's a whole nother question, right? Of Spartan standardization versus Savage, who flips it up, blah, blah, blah. But just from the series should have a flat and fast like this, and then mix in some mountains, because at the end you'll get a better idea. Or should Spartan not have a flat and fast course because it's only a cross country course, as Aaron Newell called it? What are your thoughts? And I want to get everybody's. But I'm going to start with you, Alex.
I think it's cool that they have it, and I like the rugged courses, but I think that if you want to find an athlete that's the best overall of everything, you gotta have to mix it up, right? And it wasn't that the course was like technical, but it was cool because it was hard. I mean, it's hard to redline for that long running that fast. So.
And when I talked to you, I want to say 2 years ago, but I think it's 3 now because COVID cost us all our brains and a year of our life. You were like, I'm showing up for specific, VJ, you're like, I'm showing up for specific races that I'm training for. Don't give a shit. You guys can have Killington. You guys can have whatever. And now clearly you're making a shift, or have made the shift. So what are your thoughts on yesterday's course versus the series?
There's always been courses that favor different skill sets. And that's just the nature of the game. Like, we're racing all over the country. We're not going to have a uniform thing. So deal with it. And like, from the Atkins thing of him complaining about not seeing the overall best athlete, I don't remember him complaining after he won. I don't remember ever hearing this didn't test the best athlete today after he took the top spot on the podium. So I don't know what his deal is, but I won't get into that too much. But I mean, the rest of the series is long mountain races. This is probably the least diverse elite series we've ever seen. So, I mean, one race that's different, at least they got something that changes it up for us. Yeah, but from my own perspective, like, I'm really excited for this year. It was kind of a shift I was looking to make anyways. I feel like I've historically put enough training in, and I'm able to sustain the newfound volume. So I'm really excited to train for these longer mountain events. Like, I got the perfect training ground around me now, so lots of good things to come. I'm excited.
What about you, Nick? We know you've got some obstacle work. How's your climbing and descending?
I think uphill running, like when I train for it, I do pretty well in. My favorite distance is the beast. So like coming to the super feels like going down in distance. Like it feels really fast. So I'm excited for the rest of the series for like distance and like the ascents and descents. I definitely need to like get more vert in my weekly for sure. I've heard
Get more vert, brah.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but
Fucking
bad
send
things about
it.
I gotta talk to my teammate Josh Reed about sending it. I think I've heard he's pretty good at just falling down mountains. So, but yeah, no, like I'm cool with it. I like ups and downs. I just gotta get on the mountain.
What about you, Marky?
Yeah, I think like in terms of like the course and everything else, like I think this course was probably the most exciting course we're gonna have all year. Like it's very rare where like the mountain courses are entertaining. Like they're not really that fun, like to watch or to look at. So like when you watch the replays, like to me, the mountain courses are always the most boring to watch, and they're not very exciting because like we just climbed up like a freaking like 30% grade. We get to the top and we're just like exhausted, and then we're going into an obstacle and it's like super slow because we're tired of shit and it's like not feeling good. But like this race was like really exciting, really like fast paced, really fun, lots of lead changes, lots of crazy like stuff happening on obstacles. I think it was like, from audience perspective, I think it was probably the best race we're gonna have all year. The rest of the courses, I mean, they're just gonna be like, I kind of saw the series and I was like, all right, like we're gonna see who the best hiker is this year. Sounds great. But to me, it's not really like I don't I really don't care for that fitness, but it is something I'm gonna have to work on this year to make sure that I do well in the series. So yeah, I got 8 weeks to get my hiking on, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I really enjoy the faster courses because it takes a lot of effort to redline like that whole time, and it makes your blood boil and makes you taste iron at the end of the finish line. And I like it. Like I was pretty delirious after the race this weekend. It took me like a good half an hour to finally like actually like breathe properly. So I mean, because of lack of oxygen into my head. But I mean, that's fun. I think that's fun to watch. It's exciting. I think the audience likes that kind of stuff where it's like going back and forth. But in mountain races, that tends not to happen. It's like pretty much who the people that are top 3 or 4 at the top of the mountain are the ones that are going to be top 3 or 4 at the bottom. There's hardly any lead changes, and they tend not to be as exciting. So that's my personal opinion. I wish we'd have more. I understand like that's kind of where Spartan has its roots, and they like to do those kind of races. But I would like an even distribution of races, of flat and fast and climbing and all a different diverse array of races. But